Welcome everybody to another edition of WCW 2005 here in TEW 2020. And before we get to the go-home shows for Mayhem, it's time to go over the results of the mid-year awards. Partly it's because I just didn't get around to doing it the last couple of videos. And also I want to give some people some extra time to vote on stuff, But now it's been enough time in game. We're almost through end of August, so probably a good time to actually go over the results of the awards. So let's get rolling. One other thing is, like, maybe for the end of the year awards, if I'm going to do it for versus communities, I'll probably start with the biggest awards first, because I thought maybe voting totals will build up, but instead they were sort of like weird, like going back and forth. But let's start with the beginning. So we start out with the newcomer of the year, and this was overwhelmingly won by Austin Aries with 43%. Don Frye got 19%. I guess people really didn't consider him a newcomer, even though it was the first time here. Helms Tomko also got 19%. You're going to be a good tag team with Shane Helms will do that for you. All that Alyssa Alexander got 14%, and Kai Graves got 5%. So solid victory for Austin Aries. Then after that, it was the women's match of the mid-year, and Gail Kim versus Tricia Skye at the Iron Women match at Great American Bash got 53%. Runner-up was the big Gail Kim versus Joey Lawler match in Revolution, which got 33%. Tricia Skye versus Gail Kim got 7%, as did the tag title match, and Gail Kim versus Celine Cartier did not get a vote, which is unfortunate, but still solid win for Gail and Tricia Skye, so congratulations to them. And then if we move forward, we got the tag team match of the year, which actually this was kind of a shocker. I guess people like stars as AJ and London versus Kidman and Storm at Revolution got 43%. The four-way Assault of Anarchy 2 got 29%, as did Morningstar Mesias versus AMW, where AMW won the titles, got 21%. And Awesome and Storm versus Ray Jr. and AJ Styles at Super Brawl got 7%. And again, no votes for AMW versus Drag Define. This also got 14 votes only. Then we got the singles match of the mid-year, which got 12 votes. Winner with 33% of the vote was RVD versus Jarrett at Super Brawl. Runner-up was El Hijo del Santo versus Eddie Guerrero at 25%, even though I wonder if that's a name recognition thing. Then we had Kanyon versus Eddie at Nitro, Kidman versus RVD, 2 out of 3 falls at Slamboree, and the 4-way at Great American Bash. So again, not a ton of votes there, but still 12 votes is nice. Then we got the big one, which is male wrestler of the mid-year. RVD got out of 17 votes. RVD got 59%, so overwhelming winner. Runners were Kidman and Kanyon. Jarrett got 6%, and Chip Plum only didn't get a vote, which is unfortunate for him. Then we got our tag team of the mid-year. Again, Ninkyo I threw in here. I didn't expect them to get any wins. AMW obviously had been our dominant tag teams for most of the year. They got 68%. Awesome Storm got 23%, and Hart Legacy got 9%. For Women's Wrestler of the Year, again, Gail Kim overwhelmingly. Celine Cartier got a single vote, but Tricia didn't get a vote, which is interesting. I guess, if your choice was Gail Kim or Tricia, Gail had the slightly better year in the view of most people. Then we had Nitro versus Revolution, and Nitro overwhelmingly won here, which I'm sort of surprised by. I guess it's the first show, so maybe people only mainly watch Nitro, or maybe they either... I guess the thing is, like, Revolution is sort of a more wrestling-focused show, so there's a little less description. Also, I mean, sometimes the angles are a little more intense on Nitro, while Revolution's sort of more like I don't want to say like a clean wrestling show, because there's plenty of BS. And also, like, some of the new people, or maybe you all hate women. Joking, of course, but hey, that is interesting. The Nitro World won. And then in the internet would think I'm not pushing this guy enough award. Tajiri, Sharpe, and Kaz all got 10%. I guess maybe despite being very over, people just don't care about Kaz. Sharpe and pushing decently, so that makes sense. And Tajiri, is a tag, he never, outside of that, like, one push in, like, mid-2005 in real life, he never got really pushed above, the mid-card, in his feud with Eddie, so I guess people understand that. Paulin at 29%, yeah, I get that. And Alex Wright at 43% is totally that. So those are the mid-year awards. Again, if there's a, I'll probably do this with the end of the year awards again. I'll probably time them a little bit better, and also probably start off with the big awards and then get to the lesser awards as we go on in the award season, just because I guess that gets more people to vote, which I should have known. But hey, sometimes you just don't know stuff. Anyway, let's get rolling with Nitro, as we're live from Worcester, Massachusetts for our go-home shows for Nitro, and then we got Revolution coming up after this, and we start out with a graphic for a big tag match tonight, as it'll be Goldberg and Sean O'Haire, who are both in the quarterfinals, team to take on Don Frye Eddy Guerrero as that feud continues, as this gets a 69. And then we go to the ring for our opening match of the evening, as for the first time in probably nearly a year, Alex Wright and Chavo team up to take on, forgot about this, Lippin and Tulin come down with Don Marie. They put over, we're still one of the best tag teams in the business today. we saw the biggest, the fastest rising international star in professional wrestling, my man Ray LePen. We got the sexiest manager wrestling Don Ray, and you got me, the sexiest man in professional wrestling, Tank Tolan. And together, Alex Wright, Chavo, you were tag champs, sure, but you never faced true greatness such as ourselves. So a little heel promo to start things off, as out comes Alex Wright and Chavo. And so this gets to 64, solid stuff. And then, wow, okay, I forgot. Alex Wright and Chavo Wright. Sometimes this is why, like, booking for angles instead of just pure in-game, ratings sort of screws you over, because Wright and Chavo should just be a permanent tag team. But, like, that would be sort of a boring story. But they come back here, teaming together, as is a back and forth match. Wright and Chavo show their very good chemistry. Lots of big double teams together, quick tags. LePen and Tolan come in. They get their, heel hit section in the middle of the match. As this match goes about 14 minutes, so in the middle of the match, or 13 minutes rather, middle match, right? LePen and Tolan do their double team quick suplexes, takedowns, double clotheslines on Chavo. But eventually, Chavo, gets to be a house of fire after Tolan goes for the tank turret. But Chavo gets out of the way, drops him with a big suplex, runs in, tags in Wright, who comes in and does a bunch of big moves, and eventually locks in Ray LePen in the middle of the ring with the STF, locks in the hold, and for another to go, Ray LePen has to tap out, and Wright and Chavo get the win here in a very good opening match. This gets an 80, Chavo gets a 77, Wright gets a 74, Tolan gets a 68, LePen gets a 73, or 72 rather. But then after the match, Alex Wright keeps the hold on, and Chavo has to pull him off, and they face down for a moment, as Alex Wright seems still very intense after his recent run of bad luck, as this gets a 65. But hey, Wright and Chavo won, so good news for them. We move forward as we go backstage, where Reckless Roberts, TM WCW, and his sister Tracy Roberts show up to Helms and Tomko's locker room, and basically, they talk about the big 6 man later tonight, where the Hart Legacy and Sydal will be teamed to face them. Shane Helms, basically says, look, I understand you're a big star out on the independents, and now you're in WCW and you're Cruiserweight champion, you got your sister with you. But just make sure you follow the lead of the greatest United States champion of all time and a former world champion, and there'll be no trouble. Reckless says, hey, I got all the respect in the world for you. You and your big man take care of the Hart Legacy. I'll focus on Sydal, and we'll walk out winners. They agree, and this gets a 72. Fun stuff. And then we go backstage, where Ric Flair is pacing around as Blaster and Chavo are trying to keep him calm down, but Flair eventually goes, Stacy Keibler, you think, you're special? You're a dime a dozen. I was with women like you every single night of the week for 20 years. And you think the Nature Boy is going to be stopped by one woman and her minions? Well, I got the biggest future talents in wrestling today. A former All-American wrestler. A European legend who knows 6 languages. And together, you get your men in the ring, and evolution will not be denied. Woo! So good promo from Flair, as he's pissed off about being sort of like, seduced by Stacy, allowing Ninkyo to get the attack on Evolution last week, as this gets an 82. And then we have sort of an interesting match, as Kanyon and Brother Ray team up to take on Simply Johnny Devine and Mesias and Jindrak. Of course, this was set up last week, as of course, this never-ending feud between the Chosen Few and Brother Ray and the Truth and Others got Kanyon involved as he came out for the save, and now he's teaming up with Brother Ray. And this is a very, very good tag match. I mean, can't be shocked, as it's 2 very over good people, and Jindrak and Devine, who are a solid tag team, of course. Jindrak does his power stuff with Kanyon and Brother Ray, gets to fight back and forth with him. Devine comes in, hits some high-flying moves, but eventually the Bayfaces take over, and it's a quick little match here, as, here's the thing. Devine, Jindrak, they might eventually do something more than be Jeff Jarrett's lackeys, but at the moment, they're just Jeff Jarrett's lackeys. So when we got Brother Ray, who's of course a tag team legend, and Kanyon, a former world champion who was this close to becoming world champion against Kidman a few weeks ago, eventually talent wins over here despite Jindrak and Devine being a tag team, and Kanyon eventually hits the Kanyon Cutter on Johnny Devine and picks up the victory after a little under 11 minutes, as this gets an 86. Fun, very good back and forth tag match. as very good wrestling, but lots and lots of heat as, the crowd hates Chosen Few. And they're, and then they love Kanyon Brother Ray here. Brother Ray gets an 80, Kanyon gets an 88, Dindrak gets a 69, nice, and Divine gets a 68. And of course, post-match, there's a brawl. This time, of course, the Truth is not involved as he enters put over. He's getting ready for his quarterfinal match against AJ Styles at the pay-per-view. But this gets a 98. Just brawling, Kanyon and Jarrett going after each other. Conti's almost getting a big chokeslam on Divine, but Dindrak attacking him from behind. Brother Ray brawling before WC officials get involved. As the youngsters put over, this feud has reached a new level with the addition of Kanyon. And, it's also announced, later that there will be a big 6-man match at the pay-per-view, as it'll be Kanyon, Brother Ray, and Gigantes taking on the Chosen Few in a 6-man match. Because, of course, none of those guys are involved in the tournament anymore. Then we go backstage, where Jerry Barash is with our, top heel shenanigans, as we've got Eddie Guerrero, Don Frye looking menacing, and Randy Savage, who cuts Eddie Guerrero is, like me, a man who did not get everything he deserved, in this business. But tonight, my man, the Predator, Don Frye, will rip and tear apart O'Haire and Goldberg so badly. Oh yeah, brother. That cream will rise to the top. And we will not be denied. Guerrero Substance says, that's right. Guerrero, whom he values, say that tonight, O'Haire, Goldberg, you might not make it to Mayhem. So 85, solid heel promo, putting over the big tag match later tonight by Eddie and Savage. And yes, I know, my Savage, I try to do my best here. And then we actually cut to a backstage promo with the Truth, who, again, does a rap, putting over AJ, but also saying he's going to become the Mayhem champion, and then he can be world champ anytime he wants. So this gets an 86, really good promo from the Truth as we move things forward. It's interesting. And then we go backstage where Wright and Chavo, Chavo is calming down, Wright apologizes, and, Wright basically just says, Chavo, it's just, I know I should be rising to the top, and here I am, still mired in the middle, when I should be the greatest German wrestler of all time. Chavo's going, look, we can get this, me and sure you'll be back soon, then we can just work together and do what we need to do in this business. And Wright seems okay with that, but also kind of not. As it's gets a 72, as this tension continues. Then, okay. So, this is a lot of unfortunate stuff. Unfortunately, Prophet and Mesias. Okay, so basically, actually, this kind of works, even though I was hoping for sort of good chemistry. As Mesias, Prophet is trying to calm down Mesias, as has Morningstar and has Ed Raven, but he loses control of Mesias, and he just goes wild in this match against Seekers of Sin, as the Deadpool are not around, but they send their, sort of new soldiers after them, and this is just a wild, quick match. Eventually, Mesias throws around Killswitch and Wrathchild enough that Prophet can get the win here after a couple minutes, as this gets a 50, Prophet gets a 43, Mesias gets a 74, Killswitch is 61, Wrathchild gets a 57, and like I said, Mesias and Prophet unfortunately don't click. I have so oof. Okay, wow. Just all sorts of bad luck. But anyway, Mesias and Prophet get the win here, but out comes Morningstar, who actually throws a fireball at Mesias as he rolls in from out of the ring, but Mesias gets out of the way, and then the Prophet and Morningstar start to fight as the Secrets go after Mesias until WC officials break things apart, including, holding Mesias back, as he throws some security guards, aka random indie wrestlers around, as you have to say, this chaos of this feud has reached a new fever pitch, as it gets an 82, and this feud continues. And then we go backstage, where O'Haire and Goldberg, basically put each other over. Goldberg says, I'm still the man, but Sean O'Haire is the future of the business, like he says, and he's been a world champion, and he's ready to become the man, just like him. But tonight, we're teaming up to take on Frye, Eddie. You've been in our way for weeks. You couldn't stop either of us from getting into the Mayhem tournament quarterfinals. And tonight, you think you're going to wreck our path? We got another thing coming, guys. And her follows up and says, I have all the respect in the world for this man. But, if we're across from each other in the ladder match, I'm going to go right after him. But tonight, we're teammates. And Frye, Eddie, you're going to face a future shock from me and the man. 99, these guys are really over, really charismatic. Unfortunately, not the greatest workers, but hey, it's pro wrestling. You don't actually need to be a great worker to be a big star. As you can see here, this gets a 99 as we move forward. And then we have our big 6-man tag match. Of course, it's the Hart Legacy. Jack Evans, of course, is facing facing Shane Helms in the only, non-cross-brand match at the pay-per-view. And so they fight, Tomko throws everybody around because he's Helms Tomko, so he gets to look strong. But eventually, the babyfaces team up and actually go after, Tomko, and actually hit him with a big double dive, and then, then Sydal hits a springboard 450 onto him on the outside, sort of knocking him down. Reckless and Sydal start to fight. Helms almost gets a pinfall with Evans with a super kick, but Teddy makes a save at the right exact last second. Eventually, Hart and Evans go after Helms, but Helms throws Hart to the outside, goes for the Nightmare on Helm Street. Sydal makes a save, and then things break down. And eventually, what happens is, inside the ring, Mike Sydal is able to, Robert is going for a big Death Valley driver. Roberts turns it into a crucifix, rolls through, and picks up the big pinfall victory over the Cruiserweight champion only a few days before they'll face off at the pay-per-view. Fun match. This gets an 80. And yeah, I forget, this is the way to get your people on the lower card over, is in tag teams with much more over people. But really fun match as the babyfaces get the win here. Roberts gets a 51, Tomko gets a 49, Shane gets a 91. Because even though, he didn't work out, he didn't have the best real title reign, he still gets freaking great ratings. Sydal gets a 66 here. Teddy Hart gets an 82, and Jack Evans, because he's freaking fantastic and, gets the heart to flutter of all the teenage fans in the audience, gets a 92. In the post-match, the babyface celebrate as the announcers put over. Jack Evans has a chance to pull off a big upset in the wrestling world if he walks out of Mayhem as the winner of the Mayhem tournament. 63 as they celebrate. And then we go backstage where, Jerry Borash is with CC Keebler along with Kaz and Yang. And, basically he asks her why he went over Evolution. And Stacey Keebler explains, I was over in Japan doing business, doing modeling work as I always promised. And I was sent back here for one reason, to make sure Ninkyo were successful in every aspect of their business, including professional wrestling. And in order to rise to the top of the tag team division, we need to take out our competition by any means necessary. And that's what we did. If Ric Flair or his new young charges are upset about that, come find us. We're not hard to find. 74, teasing heel promo from Stacey as Kaz and Yang get to look scary in the background. Kaz does some kicks, Yang, looks stoic, and there you go. And then we get a news from the WCW, you get news from the announcing booth as they put over that it's been a match made that at the pay-per-view, it's going to be an Inferno match between Mesias and Morningstar. Big pop for that. Now, have I double-checked to make sure I can do an Inferno match? No, but hey, this is wrestling. We can make it safe as possible. And then we go over our Revolution recap, which is basically just focusing on Monty, Palumbo, and AJ Styles getting into the quarterfinals of the tournament. Fun stuff for that. Then we have our main event, which gets... Okay, so here's the thing. I took Scott Hudson off this match just as a test. And yeah, I think this might be the end of road of Scott Hudson as a announcer on Nitro. Unfortunately for him. In real life, he was already out, basically out of the wrestling business, so I can't be too unhappy about this. And this also kind of worked as a blow-off for the, tag feud that's been going on. Well, tag feud plus singles feud between these guys, as it's a fun back-and-forth match. Eddie gets to look like Eddie, out wrestling, maybe even hitting the Blue Thunder Bomb for a near fall on O'Haire. O'Haire fights back, hits some power moves. Goldberg does Goldberg stuff. Frye tries to lock in O'Haire and Frye into holds, but the babyfaces make the save for each other. Eventually, Frye goes for a big sort of arm breaker on O'Haire, but O'Haire powers out of it and almost hits the Widowmaker for the pinfall, but Eddie Guerrero gets involved. Eddie and O'Haire, Eddie throws O'Haire to the outside, hits a suicide dive onto O'Haire. They start fighting, but Goldberg and Frye are the legal men at this point. Frye turns around, spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3. Your winner of the match and advancing. Not advancing, but getting a big win before the main pay-per-view is Sean O'Haire and Bill Goldberg. This gets a 92. Goldberg gets a 92. O'Haire gets an 82. Eddie gets a 94. Don Frye gets a 68. And yeah, that sort of thing. He's despite having really good popularity, he's never had great matches, which sort of makes sense because he's never been a great worker. But I thought maybe he would do a little more. But sometimes stuff doesn't work out. Now I'm not gonna say this is the end of a Don Frye's main event picture, but yeah, I'm not sure what to do with him. I think I only sent him for a year. I hope I didn't. If I sent him for 2 years, I might be in trouble. But hey, it is what it is. So O'Haire and Goldberg are celebrating when, by God, out of the crowd, it's Chuck Palumbo. It's Monty Brown. They don't even work here. And they go after O'Haire, and it's a fight. And they actually, Monty nails a Goldberg with a pounce. Palumbo attacks and grabs grabs O'Haire and goes for the full throttle. But O'Haire gets out of it. They start fighting. Goldberg, recovers on the outside of the ring, but it's a 2-on-1 on O'Haire, but Goldberg comes through, and the fight is going on for them officials to get down to the ring and try to break things apart as the announcers put over these 4 men have a chance at greatness at Mayhem, to have a guaranteed shot, a called shot, an opportunity at the WCW World Championship whenever they want. So really solid show. This gets a 93. Good stuff. And yeah, actually Hudson was back on that main event angle and only got a 92. So it's unfortunate for Scott, but honestly, it might be time for you to go down to doing Saturday night or just getting released. And yeah, new era possibly for you. And hey, it's Suwama, who has not had the greatest career here in real life as he had in real. He was a top guy at this point, All Japan, right? I forget. Well, okay, maybe not quite a top guy yet. Anyway, this is loading. So yeah, solid stuff. Not the best thing ever, but yeah, not the worst thing ever. But good stuff as we go into building up the pay-per-view. So emails. Kanyon. Okay, this is hilarious. Young guys need to learn how to sell. Well, not bad. And Gigantes wants more momentum. Well, and this is actually the first time I've got a booking complaint like this. So that's interesting. See, that's things with this game, there's all sorts of these interesting things that don't pop up as frequently as you think they should. Honestly, I guess most people have either neutral or high momentum. So yeah, that is interesting. Anyway, sorry, I'm just overthinking things. Anyway, so Nitro, we got a 2.74, and Raw, they're still in England, so it doesn't make any sense. So we got Veronica Vane and Shaniqua defeating Cherry Slice and Elizabeth Love. Interesting. Funaki, Chris Jericho, and Crash Holly defeat Steve Richards and Justice and Hawk. Kane defeating Rico. Big Show defeating Rod Waterman. Amber James defeating Molly Holly to retain the WWF Women's Championship. And then Undertaker and Edge defeated Top Shelf in a 99. Because of course you can totally get a match where somebody gets a 57. Of course, you can get Edge got 100. Triple H defeats Scott Steiner in a 92. Let's see, Steiner is still getting 78, so he's not totally useless, but it's interesting. So yeah, fun stuff. Carl got injured, too bad for him. 5-star match, yeah. I don't know. Again, I don't really mind it because the AI needs all help they can get, but it is annoying when you book a really well-booked show in your view and you get a 92, and they can pull out an 89 because they get 2 random 90s for no good reason. Anyways, because it was not it was a okay show, but this was not a good show outside their top 2 matches. Anyway, I'll be back in just a second with Revolution. Alright, it's now time for Revolution as we're live from Lowell, Massachusetts, just outside the Boston area, which is where the pay-per-view will be, as we're to a sold-out crowd here, as the actual show starts out with early tonight, as we see basically W officials swarming Bill Goldberg and Sean O'Haire, trying to keep them back from the basically entering the building, as Chuck Palumbo and Monty Brown are both there, looking out at Goldberg and O'Haire, cocky, yelling at them. Teddy Long tries to get in the middle and says to Goldberg and O'Haire, "Look, I got all the respect in the world for you. And look, if it was totally up to me, I'd let you go after these guys. But there's a brain split for a reason. Without a valid reason you're not allowed on the show. But I get out there, kick some ass, and even though I want somebody from Revolution to win the Mayhem tournament, I hope it's not one of these two, okay? But you can't fight. And then Goldberg and O'Haire actually get loose and go after Palumbo and Monty Brown. Eventually they get broken up again, as Palumbo says, that's right, I run Revolution, and you're not getting in my building anytime soon. And if you did, this man would wreck you. As Monty gets to look angry, as things get broken apart again, as the announcers put over, these four men all want a chance to win the Mayhem tournament, and there's an explosive beginning to Revolution. As then we're go over that tonight, it's a big match later tonight, as Booker, AJ Styles, and Shelton Benjamin will team up in the main event against Cash, Sonny Siaki, and Keenan Sharpe. And this gets a 73, and we move forward. And then we have a big main event here, as of course this was set up a couple weeks ago when Ken Anderson won a big four-way match, I believe, or got a pinfall. Again, I should have double-checked this, but regardless, Ken Anderson earned a WCW television title shot. Of course, everybody's been involved in their own feuds in the tournament, but now Ken Anderson was out of the tournament. Lance Storm has a free week before the pay-per-view, so this match happened. Back and forth, Lance Storm, of course, is his technical stuff, actually locks in the Canadian Maple Leaf early, but Anderson powers out of it. Storm continues the attack, but Anderson fights back. Eventually, what happens is Storm goes for a super kick. Anderson gets under it, turns Storm around, hits a big German suplex, goes on a roll. Storm takes the advantage back, locks in the Canadian Maple Leaf, or tries to, but Anderson powers out of him, kicks him away, and then eventually able to hit the Kenton Bomb, rolling fireman's carry slam. 1, 2, 3, and just in a little under 9 minutes, becomes the new World Television Champion, ending Lance Storm's reign, and officially taking a title away from the Triumvirate. This gets an 80 if they really get great chemistry. Storm gets a 92, as again, if he wasn't part of the top heel stable and didn't have two titles, you could sort of say I'm under pushing him. Anderson gets a 72, and yeah, this sort of makes the title available to really be booked again, and puts it back on. Well, Anderson really is a mid-carder, but he's a rising star. As it gets an 80, and Anderson celebrates with the TV title as he enters over a big moment, the biggest moment so far in Ken Anderson's career, as he has become a champion here in WCW. We go backstage. Well, we get a little pre-tape promo, as we get basically a bunch of heels ask who's going to win the world title match at Mayhem. Sonny Siaki says Siaki, doesn't really care, but he knows that Kidman is the best wrestler in the world outside of Sonny Siaki, of course. Sonny Siaki says Kidman is going to take that title until Sonny Siaki says Kidman is going to take the title. Sonny Siaki is ready to take it off him. Jerry Dawkins says, Kidman. Cash says, put all your cash on Kidman to keep that title away from that dork with the masked face. And Damon says he doesn't really care, but damn it, Ray Jr. He has to celebrate. He has to say Kidman over Ray Jr. And then once he's done with Keith Walker, he's going to take apart whoever has that title. 62, just a little segment putting over the the world title match at the pay-per-view, which I honestly haven't done. I'll be honest, I haven't done that great a job of pushing the title match. Then we go backstage where Amy Wilbur is with AJ Styles. She asks him if he has any worries about being in a big 6-man match just before the Mayhem tournament, and AJ says, "Look, Booker and Shelton asked for him help tonight, and he's happy to give it. But after Mayhem, he's going to prove he's going to be the face that runs WCW, and he's going to be world champion and prove it to everybody. But that doesn't mean just because a big match coming up, he can turn his back on his friends." So decent promo from AJ, putting over the 6-man match later tonight, and the match for the truth at the pay-per-view, as this gets an 80. And then we have a quick little match here, as this is basically not quite a squash match, as we have two veterans in Ron Simmons and Dean Malenko, as they get a little bit of offense in our tag team champions and the Hardy Boys, but eventually Matt and Jeff take over, twist of fate, Swanton Bomb, another big move from Matt, and just a quick little win to put over the Hardys, make them look impressive, as this gets a 70, Matt gets a 74, Jeff gets a friggin' 100. Again, if he wasn't Jeff Hardy, he would be possibly my top babyface, but now he gets a world title reign, so I hope he's better. Malenko gets a 51, Simmons gets a 53, they both hit the sort of like downward spiral of declining physical ability, which is why not re-signing Simmons, and Malenko is probably going to turn into a backstage guy after this contract. But 70, and then the Hardys celebrate as the Entrance put over. They're going to have a big challenge taking on Storm and Awesome in a big title match at Mayhem. This gets a 71. Then we have a first of our sit-down interviews with Ray Jr. As Tenay first asks him, that this is your first real opportunity at the World Championship, and if you're ready to take that title. Ray says, ever since I was a young kid, barely a teenager, getting that ring, I've wanted to be a world champion, whether it was the NWA World Championship or when I came to WCW World Championship. But this is my first real opportunity. I've risen up. I was Cruiserweight champion so many times, a tag team champion, a US champion. But now I'm against that ring against Kidman, and I'm going to take that title off him. Tenay then asks him, even though Kidman isn't the biggest wrestler in the world, you're still quite a bit smaller than him. And Ray says, well, I've been in the gym the past few months, really getting more bulky without losing any of my speed. I know I have the ability to take that title because it's not about the size of the dog in the fight. It's about the size of the fight in the dog. And there is no bigger fighter in this business than I am. If Kidman thinks he can have his cronies or his buddies or anybody else get involved, he's got anything coming. Because I will become WC World Champion at Mayhem and prove to everybody out there that if you have a dream, you can achieve it here in your life. Thanks Ray for his time. As the answers then put over, Ray Jr. has a big challenge set from Mayhem, but he can make history becoming WCW World Champion. 83, decent promo. Again, fun stuff. And then we have the faces ask about the world title match. Nikki Radcliffe says, well, I've seen Kid more partying, but, I like Ray. Plus, we know he's a cutie under the mask. Tori Wilson, says, of course, I back up Ray Jr. I never manage him, but along with Alex Wright, we're close, and I've got all the confidence in him at Mayhem. Paulina says, of course, I'm backing up Ray. And then RVD, because he's RVD at this point, says, well, man, love RVD, but Kidman is really good, so I gotta give it a 50-50 shot. Plus, Kidman beat me, and I know I'm the greatest wrestler in the world, and nothing personal to Ray, because, we're totally buddies. But I don't know, man. And then Heyman sort of, leads him off. As it gets to 77, sort of, again, putting over the possible heel turn. Well, of course, why would anybody with Paul Heyman be a heel? Paul Heyman is a totally okay man who isn't a scumbag at all. But this gets to 77, fun stuff. And then we have Mike Awesome killing Trevor Slater in 5 minutes. The entrance put over that Trevor Slater, asked WC officials for this match to keep Mike Awesome busy so that Ken Anderson wouldn't get screwed out with his TV title match. But unfortunately for him, Mike Awesome is angry. He comes out and Trevor Slater gets a little bit of brawling in, but Awesome takes advantage, throws him around. Awesome bomb, 1, 2, 3. Quick squash here just to put over Awesome. This gets a 70. Awesome gets an 80. And Trevor Slater gets a 45 as this only goes 5 minutes. And then we move forward as we get a little quick, Storm, obviously pissed, comes down. And as Slater slowly gets up, Storm drops him with a super kick. And then Awesome looks like he's going to go for another Awesome bomb. The WC officials come out and break things apart. But they both make the title belt motions as he enters over. Storm and Awesome are angry going into their tag title match at the pay-per-view. And then we get a Kidman Rey history package, of course, teaming up, both being Cruiserweight champions, fighting, big feud, Ray and Kidman both rising to the top, and now facing off at Mayhem. And then this cuts to a interview between Mike Tenay and Billy Kidman, a sit-down interview, as, Tenay asks, Kidman, people, say you sort of won the world championship with fluke, but you've proven everybody wrong by keeping that championship. But now you're facing against possibly one of your biggest rivals in Ray Jr. And Kevin Blosman says, why is Ray my greatest rival? Because we were Cruiserweight champions together? Because we teamed together a while ago? That's a different man, Mike. I'm the world champion. I'm the number one wrestler in the world because I've got this belt. And Ray Jr., he sells some merch. The fans love him. But I'm the better wrestler, and I'm going to prove it once again at Mayhem. But Snake pushes back and says, well, Ray has defeated you before, and you've never faced him in this situation. And Kidman says, yes, exactly, because he never earned it. I did what I had to become world champion, and then every night in this ring, I prove it all over the world. I went over to UK and in front of 20,000 people, kept the title again. So Ray, look, I'm not going to deny you're a great wrestler, but I'm that much better. And no matter how I need to do it, the triumvirate will stand tall once again at Mayhem. And, but Tenay still pushes back and says, I mean, you've beaten RVD, you've beaten Kanyon, but have you really ever faced a guy like Ray Jr. with his quickness, his skill in that ring? And Kidman, gets a little bit sad, says, what the hell are you talking about, Mike? I've proven myself so many times. People told me I was a paper champion. I beat Rav Van Dam twice in one match. They said I had no chance against Kanyon, who had beaten Eddie Guerrero in a cage sheet. I beat him. Now, people are saying, oh, you can't defeat Ray Jr. Why? Because he's not quite the string bean he used to be? Because he has all these idiots on his side? No. I'm Billy Bing Kidman. I'm the world champion. I'm going to walk out of Mayhem still the world champion. And it doesn't matter who out there hates it. Then he walks off. 96, good heel promo, putting over. See, this is the weird thing. He's Kidman's not that really over. He's mid-80s in game. But he cuts really great promos like this. So it's really weird. Anyway, sorry, moving forward. We have our big tag team match. As of course, this has been building for the past, month or so. As it's, the two of the top women in the business today, and Gail Kim and Celine Cartier, having their understudies and all that, Alyssa Alexander and Alli Danger. And it's a back and forth match. Basically the two sides, face off. Celine goes for the Slice Levé on Alli Danger early, but Gail Kim comes in and, breaks it up. Gail and Celine fight a bit, back and forth, almost neat defeat on Cartier, but Alexander helps, her partner. But eventually what happens is Gail Kim actually, gets taken out by Alexander with a big spinebuster on the outside, but both women are down. And it looks like Cartier is going to get the win, but the refs checking in on both women on the outside. And as Cartier goes for the Slice Levé, Alli Danger first sort of scratches her, pokes her out, letting her go. Alli Danger goes over to the corner, picks up her cane, her Singapore kendo stick that she's been carrying with her, wallops Cartier with it in the back of the head, hits a quick, sort of modified DDT as ref comes, gets back in the ring. 1, 2, 3, a huge victory as Alli Danger pins a former WCW Women's World Champion here on Revolution, even if it's with some help. As it gets a 77, Alli Danger gets a 52, Gail Kim gets an 89, Alexander gets a 57, Celine Cartier gets a 77. I had to keep Cartier strong, but a fun match here as, a big win for the heels, which, the announcers and the crowd is not happy about as this gets a 65. And then we're actually back in the woods as Jamie Noble is saying, people have been telling me it was all waste. I came back and I lost to Walker and Tori and all of them, but I'm a fighter. And Keith Walker, you got lucky, kid, but I'm one of the best Tekken wrestlers in the business. I'm out back here in the woods where I grew up, gain back my edge. And when I'm back, I'm going to tear you apart, son, and there's nothing you or your little woman can do about it. So 76, solid promo from Noble, basically continuing that feud. And then we have a Tricia Skye promo, as she's training, basically, doing some weights and all that fun training stuff. And she says, Lizzie, you're right. We have lots of history, but that doesn't matter anymore. We're not up there anymore. We're in WCW now, the home of the best women's division in the world. And I'm glad to be world champion for these fans and those young girls all around who want a true women's division in professional wrestling. And Lizzie, you think you can take me out because you defeated me before somewhere else? Well, try your best. And hey, bring your little cronies around. It doesn't matter. Because the sky's the limit for women in professional wrestling, and I'm going to prove it. 81, good promo. And then we get our Nitro recap, which gets a 73. And then we have our main event, which gets an, oh, wow, okay, shockingly good here. Okay, I guess all these, let's see here. Two of these guys are world-class wrestlers in AJ and Shelton. Booker's still really good. Cash is really good. Sonny Siaki's not bad. Sharpe is really good. So I guess I was actually kind of worried about this, but okay, so this is just a pure top shelf 6-man sort of mid 2000s US Pro / indie a little bit style match. High work rate as everybody is putting their best out. Booker's being Booker, Shelton's suplexing folks, Styles is flying around, Cash is doing the bully weight stuff on Shelton and AJ, but Shelton actually nails him with a big suplex. Sonny Siaki comes in for his spots. Sharpe is hitting some quick kicks, and things do eventually break down, but they break down in the right way, as eventually Styles has Siaki. Boom! Styles clash. I'm going to take Spinal. The Spiral Tap must be in there as a normal finisher, not a uber finisher. And a few days before his Mayhem tournament match, Styles gets the win here, as this gets an 87, AJ gets a 94, Shelton gets a 63, Booker gets a 78, Keenan Sharpe gets an 84, Siaki gets a 59, and Cash gets a 79. So really good match, and AJ gets the big win here on Mayhem. But then, we, look like, we're coming to the end of the show when Billy Kidman comes out and basically starts ranting and says, once again, WCW is trying to paint things away, so all you idiots here think that I'm going to lose my title. Well, I'm here to remind you once again, it's not going to happen. Every single month, you get hyped, you get excited, you think your long nightmare is over. But every single Monday night, you have to realize the same thing. I'm the best wrestler on the planet for a reason. And Ray Jr., you're not going to stop me. Ken hasn't, Rob Ray D didn't, and you're sure as hell hasn't. Ray Jr. comes on and says, Billy, Kidman, this isn't about our past. This is about our present. And yes, you're the world champion for a reason. I'm not going to deny that. But it ends at Mayhem, man. It all ends there. And with a face down, but then out comes Storm and Awesome from behind. It looks like there's going to be, this is all set up, but out come the Hardys to back up Ray Jr. And we got a big old stare down in the show as youngsters put over the big world title matches, the world tag title match, the main tournament, everything, as this gets a 91. And overall, the show itself gets us an 89. So fun stuff. No popularity changes, which is unfortunate, but yeah, good stuff. And yeah, I mean, this was a solid show. Again, I sort of did all my build up for the world title in 1 week as the main tournament sort of things over. But hey, hopefully that got people excited. Yeah, we'll go over not the full lineup, but sort of the quasi full lineup for the pay-per-view in a second. And then we'll go over everything else going on in the wrestling world. So we're some mail. I mean, is she? No. Okay. No, she's not. Is she any good? No, she's not. Anyway. So, just as a pre-booking check, so we got, as part of the tournament, we got AJ Styles versus The Truth, Chuck Palumbo versus Bill Goldberg, Sean O'Haire versus Monty Brown, Shane Helms versus Jack Evans. Then we've got RVD versus Paul London as part of the Van Dam Invitational. We got Reckless Robert versus Matt Sydal for the Cruiserweight title. Isn't booked here, but we got Mesias versus Morningstar in an Inferno match. We got the Chosen Few versus Kanyon Brother Ray Gigante 6-man. Then we got Hardy Boys versus Awesome Storm in a tag title match, and the world title match of Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Kidman. So a big show. And then if we look around the wrestling world, they had another random. Okay, sorry, I'm just upset. Anyway, so we had Molly Holly and Jackie Gate defeat Shaniqua and Veronica Vane. We had Scott Steiner and Rikishi teaming up to defeat Skyfall, Caleb Lydon, and Punk in a good match. Again, Steiner's still solid, so that's good. Lesnar killed Ron Waterman, I guess in a squash, which got a 95. Gallagher Bruiser defeated Christian and the Outcast in an 84. Angle defeated Richards in a 98. Benoit defeated Orton in another random 100, because of course they did. And Edge and Big Show defeated Triple H and Jericho in a tables match, which got a 99. So there we go. Again, I get it, but it's kind of funny sometimes. Also, what happened was Impact had their weekly show, which was really highlighted by, I guess, Hulk Hogan Rick Steiner defeated Jason Vex, which is Jason Cross and Buff Bagwell, in F50, and Carly Colon defeated El Condor. But then they also had Sacrifice, which was in front of a little under 2,000 people, and it had Roadkill versus Alexander Atkinson, who's a regen, Sick Boy defeating Derek Sparrow, Navajo Warrior defeating Brett Albright, Jesus Kilo Jr. and Marcus Miltech defeated Quiet Storm and El Condor in a 46. In the match of the not the match of the night, sorry. Clone, Amazing Red, and Shiver, aka Glacier, defeated the Apollo and the Giants in a tables match. We had Bigelow and Skaggs defeating The Miz and Lex Luger. Yes, that's the team that happened. And then we had Hulk Hogan defeated David Flair in a non-title match. In the main event, Rick Steiner and Animal retained their tag titles over Jason Vex and Buff Bagwell to retain the Impact Tag Championship. So Hulk Hogan did not even defend the World Championship here. That's hilarious. Then if we look also around, so for our DevFed, NWA Wildside TV show, JC Daz defeated Kurt Stallings, who was a regen. Kenzo defeated Dagenberg and Matt Morgan. Ryan Drago, Cassidy, and Jimmy Ray defeated Rick Michaels, Matt Cross, and Rain Man. And Matt Cross might be part of our Cruiserweight division soon, just a matter of when to pull him up. And then for Weekly House Show, Brett Major, who's somebody we signed recently, Austin Creed, they're both slowly getting there, but they'll probably be in dev for a little while now. Lazarus, Tony Jones, and Ken Suzuki defeated Rain Man, Matt Cross, and JC Daz. And Ortiz defeated Rick Michaels, as he's still the NWA North American champion. And that's about it for what you need to care about as far as our dev people. American Wrestling Queens had their weekly show. Cindy Rogers defeated Annette Blanchard. Jorge Perez, Amy Sakura, and Amazing Kong defeated ODB and the Girls. Becky Bayless defeated Carla Chambers. Monica Osaka defeated Miss Hall Molly. And Ariel defeated Madison Claire and Mischief to retain the AEW Championship in a 62. So fun stuff. Let's see here. If we look at the HWA, I showed right. And they had their weekly show. Andrew Shear defeated Kiva Wantu, who's a regen, who WWE signed but hasn't been doing much with. Jamie Jacobs, Falaba, and Dustin Lee defeated Derek Corbin in Club Deluxe. Andy Douglas defeated Silas Young. Another regen on regen match here. And yeah, that's about it. OVW was OVW. Let's see. AJ Sparks defeated Luis Vasquez. Let's see here. Chantel Teller defeated Sarah Stock. Joe Ryder to Mitch Page. And yeah, that's about it. Nothing of note. Sean Casey defeated John Cena. It's sort of amusing that Cena's in the pre-show, but it's still getting like 56s. Capital and Shark Boy won a tag match. Bradley and Pewter are still your tag champions, so not much going on there, honestly. If we go then to events, news. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Gaia had their big show. Let's see here. Stuff that people would care about. Let's see. Mayo Morizaki and Miko Wakaziwa defeated Kuri Suzuki and Jaiko Nagishi in a 71. Miami Toyota and Tako Noe defeated Miki Sanamura and Hiroko Fuka. And Toshi Yamamoto retained the AAAW singles title over Karuito in a 74. So not bad for them. After that, RE1 over Sacrifice. APW had a big show. Frankie Kazarian versus Alvin Morgan was the main event. GSQ had a big show. Petey Williams was in the main event. Rene Dupree existed. Outside of that, not much going on. So again, BCW had a big show. Larry Destiny versus Tyson Dew was the main event. Bobby Clancy was there. Mike Roper was there. Again, not much of note. They're doing the German Climax, but of course this game can't do round robin AI booking, which, not going to slam them for that. But yeah, there we are. So, not the best week ever, but not the worst week ever. Good go-home shows as you go into the pay-per-view. And the Mayhem tournament, again, is still coming up. And again, anybody in theory still has a chance to win the tournament if they, get all the right people into the semifinals and they predict the right winner. Of course, I know who's won, but, you guys don't know. But that's it for now. So if you enjoyed this, go ahead and give a like. Comment below where you're liking and not liking, and subscribe to the channel for plenty of our TEW 2020 content such as this. Ring of Honor series. I might bring in other stuff, just depends. Journey of Wrestling, Basketball GM, which I'll try to get more. Might go back into Paradox, but that's another question. But who knows what might pop up on this channel. That's it for now. So talk to you later, and adios. Have a good one.